Out of sight, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, out of mind.
Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm sharing my favorite books with you guys. But before I do that, I just have to say, this happened like at 3 in the morning. I tried to cut my bangs. I ended up just framing my face. I have the hair right here. I cut this much off from both sides. This is like the total. Do you see this? I have like weird framing pieces now because I was bored and it was 3 in the morning. What else can you do at 3 in the morning, you know? Also, I am doing a giveaway for this video. All that information will be at the end of the video, so make sure to stay and watch. So for this list that I'm doing today, I only included books in series. So it's not a favorite books videos, it's a favorite series of books video. In 8th place, we have To All the Boys I've Loved Before. This series has 3 books and it's on Netflix. Like, the movies are on Netflix. The 3rd one is coming out soon. So these books are about this girl and she's super shy and stuff. Like, you know, like the traditional, like, main character. Like, she's beautiful, but not that beautiful. So why do people always like her type of character? But no one really likes her because she's, like, so quiet. Whenever she has a crush, she writes, like, a letter to her crushes, but she never sends them. She puts them in a box. And her sister decides to send them for her. Like, her little sister goes in her room, grabs the letters, and sends them, like, to the boys. So she has to deal with, like, the disaster of all the boys that she's ever liked before, like, knowing that she used to like them. So one of the letters goes to her older sister's boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend now. And to make sure he doesn't get the wrong idea, she has to fake date someone. So it's like a really classic rom-com movie. Of course, they actually end up dating. It's really cute. I really suggest it. It's a really fast read. In number 8, we have The Hunger Games. This is so basic of me. Like, I feel like all these books are going to be really basic. Whatever. The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, everyone's heard of them. There's 4 movies. There's 3 books. It's a trilogy. I love it. It's about a dystopian society, and this girl, she volunteers in this competition where a bunch of kids have to kill each other and only one can win, because she doesn't want her sister to. So her sister gets selected to go to the Hunger Games, and she doesn't want her little sister to die, so she volunteers for her, and she's like in the games, and she has to pretend to like this boy to get more sponsors to survive, to make her more likable. This dystopian is really interesting because it shows what happens like in a revolution. I really suggest you guys read it. The next series in my list is Ruby Red. So we have this family. We have 2 families, and one member of each family carries a time traveler gene, and they think it's like this girl, right? And she's been training her whole life for it, but they made a mistake, and it's not actually her. It's her cousin. So from the first family, it's like not the girl that was supposed to go, it's like her cousin. So she starts to accidentally time travel, like, because she doesn't know what's going on, you know, because she wasn't trained. And then from the other family is this like cute guy, so, you know, like, that's like they're the love interest for each other. What really bothers me about this series is that it takes place within the span of 3 weeks, so like you can't fall in love in 3 weeks. But by the 3rd book, they're like in a full committed relationship, and I'm just like, what is this? No, this is unrealistic. But it's a fiction book. I love like how they explain time travel in this book. I love that there's a female time traveler too. Like, it's not just males, because in all the other books that I've read, it's mostly males that time travel. These are really fun reads. So it took me 1 day to read a book, so it will take you like 3 days to finish the whole series, because there's only 3 books.
Who is she? She looks like a rat.
It's time for an intermission dance by Bambi.
This is animal cruelty. Someone call PETA.
Wow.
She's gonna stay on my lap for the rest of the video, so sorry. The next series in my list is super basic, but it has to be in this list because I'm super basic. The name of this super basic series is Twilight. So we all know what Twilight is about, right? Bella, Edward, Jacob, love triangle, vampires, werewolves. Do I have to explain more? No, I can move on. Perfect. If you haven't read it, it's 2021. You should go read it. The next series on this list is the Heroes of Olympus series. So this is actually like a sequel series. The first series that came out with these, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and that's higher on my list. We'll talk about that later. But second series, we see Percy, Annabeth, and some of the other characters that we see in the first series, and they're like a little bit older. They're not preteens anymore. They're actual teenagers in high school, and it's really interesting to see how like they grow and how they're in a relationship now. And oh my god, Percy and Annabeth are my ultimate ship. They're my OTP. They will end up together forever. They're amazing. So you have to read the first series before you read this one. In fourth place, we have Throne of Glass. Okay, this series takes a twist. So it starts off in the first book, and it's very like PG-13, you know, like we think it's going in one way, but it goes in the other way, like in the third or fourth book. And then it just turns into like an R-rated smutty book. I absolutely live for that. I love this series, of course. So it takes place in like a fantasy world, and in this like world, there's this king, and he kind of bans magic because there's magic, and then he bans it. And our main character used to have magic, but because the king banned it and no one has magic anymore, she lost her magic, kind of. It's just like there, but she can't access it. And our main character, the girl, she is a killer now. Like she's a murderer, and she did a bunch of bad things because she was trained to do them. And she's in this like prison type thing. So also there's a competition going on at the castle, like with the king and the prince and all like their advisors. They're trying to find a champion that can do things for the king, so like go murder people and stuff. So each person has to provide one champion for the competition. And the prince decides to go with our main character. So he goes to pick her up from the jail type place and brings her back to the castle. And then they train there. And then the whole first book, it's on the competition and what's going on and stuff. And she's slowly starting to like remember her magic and stuff. And the prince has magic too. And there's like a love triangle there with like a guard, the prince and her. And then there's like this other boy that comes in the third or fourth book, and he's honestly my favorite. So you should really go read it. It's super
talented,
amazing,
brilliant,
fantastic,
incredible,
wonderful,
amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
In third place, we have The Mortal Instrument. I would first like to start by saying my favorite book boyfriend is Jace from this series. He is the best. He's amazing. So there's this rumor in the internet that this series is fan fiction for Ron and Ginny in the Harry Potter series. I really hope that's not true, but in the first couple of books, our main love interest did think they were brother and sister.
What?
But it turned out to not be true. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So basically these books are about shadow hunters, and shadow hunters are humans that have angel blood in them. And they have angel blood in them because they were given angel blood by an angel. Wow. And their task in life is to fight demons. And our girl main character, she doesn't know that she's a shadow hunter because her mother hid her from that world. So she thinks she's a normal human and stuff. And then her mother goes missing, and she finds out she's a shadow hunter, and her life basically just falls apart. And it's really interesting to watch. Wow. Mean. So there's this really bad guy that's actually her father, and he's trying to take over the world. And like throughout the books, we see them defeat him and go along that journey. It's a really interesting series. You guys should really read it. In second place, we have the first Percy Jackson series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I read the series back in the day, like when it first came out, like when I was in elementary school. They're amazing, and whoever tells you that they're like kids books, they're lying. Because I'm in college and I still reread them, and I still relate to every single character, especially Percy. I just love the way Percy was written. He's so sarcastic and funny and hilarious and amazing, and I love him. So we see Percy Jackson discover that he's a demigod. So he discovers that he's a demigod, and then he has to go save his mom from the underworld. So he gets a quest, but he doesn't tell anyone. That's the main reason that he's going on that quest. The main reason to go on this quest is to find something for Zeus, one of the gods. to prevent a war between like the gods. And we get to see a bunch of Greek mythology appear throughout the books, and they have to battle a bunch of monsters, and it's just a really fun series to watch. To read. It's just a really fun series to read. In first place, we have Harry Potter. Who knew? My favorite books in the entire world. So the first time I read Harry Potter was when I was like, I want to say 6 years old, 5, 6. And it was my first chapter book, and I fell in love with reading because of Harry Potter. So of course, it's like my favorite book. It's my favorite book series in the entire world. I love it. I feel like everyone should read Harry Potter at least once. As we all know, there's 8 movies. They're all amazing. The movies aren't as detailed as the books, but I understand because they can't make a Harry Potter movie that's 7 hours long. I would totally watch that. If someone makes a Harry Potter movie that's 7 hours long, I would watch that for sure, like seriously. So Harry Potter is about wizards. If you don't know, if you have lived under a rock for the last like 20 years, it's about this kid, and he's a wizard. And
you're a wizard, Harry.
He doesn't know he's a wizard, so he gets introduced to the wizarding world, and we get to go along for that journey. And it's really amazing because it made me feel like I was in that world, and it was such a great escape from reality. So those were all my favorite books. Now to the giveaway. This giveaway, I will be giving away 2 gift cards, one to Starbucks and one to Target. So there's going to be 2 winners. To enter this giveaway, you have to 1, be subscribed to my channel, 2, you have to leave a like on this video, and 3, you have to leave a comment down below telling me what your favorite book is. I will choose a winner in 2 weeks, and I'll announce it in the comments of this video. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna try to post videos every single Wednesday. Bye!